Why does my child seem to not hear me when I talk? I get on their level. I make sure I make eye contact. I lecture them, but in a nice and gentle and kind way. I discipline. I'm consistent with my discipline. I punish them. Do I take something away? What do we do to gain harmony with our kids? We're going to talk about that today. What do you do when your child just doesn't seem to care about anything? And this is just a statement that we get all the time. My kid just doesn't care about goals. My kid just doesn't care about rewards. So we're going to talk about the difference between a reward and a goal today, because even though the words might seem familiar to you because you've been trained as a parent to reward your child, and then other parenting experts will say, don't reward your child. So it's just like, well, what is it? Well, there's a big difference between a reward and a goal. We're going to be diving into what actually makes a child want to listen and cooperate. And so we prayed just before we came on here that God would open your ears to hear and open your eyes to see. Because when you come to us, you come with already a paradigm. This is the collection of habits of who you are. You come to us already with beliefs that you have been developing throughout your entire lifetime. You come to us with certain ideas of what it means to be a parent. And 99.999% of the time, when parents come to us, it's my child does this, my child does that, I want this, I want that. But nobody ever comes to us saying, I am doing something wrong and I want to fix me. And so this is the big paradigm shift for you today. What if it's not your kids? And I'm going to ask you a couple of serious questions here. If you're here, do share in the comments. Who is the older one? Who decided to have kids in the first place?
Us or them?
Who is the person in the family who has the most life experience?
Us or them?
And who is the leader in the home? Who is the leader in the home? Who is the cause of the circumstances you find yourself in today?
Us or them?
Now, they might seem like rhetorical questions, like, duh, I'm older. But unless we take the time to really think about this, who's older? Who should be the leader? Who is in charge here? And so when you answer these questions and you're like, me, I'm the older one, me, I'm the leader, me, then who is responsible for making the change in your home? You or your child? And when you are looking for help, should we be focusing on all the crazy stuff your kid's doing? You guys, kids are kids. And the one thing we can promise you is they're going to do all sorts of crazy, stupid things because they don't have life experience. It's not because they're trying to go out of their way to tick you off.
But they're curious.
Yeah, so talk about that for a minute.
You know, when you see something, you're going to go right into a positive or negative default. When you engage, that's an observer effect. It means you're in. And then all of a sudden, your thought either goes positive or negative, or you have a positive or negative emotion. And when you can listen to the questions and the way that you see it, whatever you choose to see, you're going to find. So if you see something you don't like, you're going to come in talking can't, don't, won't. A negative plus a negative will always equal an environment of, and you guessed it, negative. So when we say back to you, wow, I hear what you're saying. It sounds like everything's working perfectly. Because it is. What we're looking at the rub here is that you would like to be here in positive plus positive when you're picking somewhere negative and you're ending up somewhere over here. And if you knew how to get there, you wouldn't be whining, bitching, or complaining, because that's how you've been taught to ask for help also.
Absolutely. I want to take some time to say good morning. So I'm watching, I'm looking for comments here, and I'm not seeing any comments. And I'm looking at the live here, and I'm not seeing any comments. So I actually went to the group, opened the video, and there's a whole bunch of comments here. So
Found them.
I want to just say hi and welcome to Kelly and Aaron and Angela and Holly and Sharon and Carlos and another Angel. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Aaron here from South Carolina.
Is Big Bird over there
From
too?
Texas. I got Carlos from Texas. And is who? Big Bird?
Big Bird.
No, no,
Bert
Big
Nerdy?
Bird. No, Big Bird. Okay, so here's what I want to say, and I opened it up with this, but maybe you weren't here when I opened it up. We are Bonnie and Tim Liotta. There are 26 letters in the alphabet, and you can rearrange 26 letters to say all sorts of things. We could have it say, ask questions, encourage your child, teach life skills, pre-frame,
Guide.
Here, let me give you a couple you can play. Validate,
Oh,
goal,
pro.
proactive versus reactive,
And most importantly,
truth,
we're looking for the truth.
truth versus lies. All right. So the point that I'm making here is there's 26 letters in the alphabet. Now, if I said we're Bonnie and Tim Liotta, doesn't that sound a little bit funny? Like you're like, no, you're Bonnie and Tom. But all I did was I took one letter out of our names and changed it. How much does this make sense? Okay. So when you come to creating champions for life and you have the paradigm of timeouts, takeaways, lectures, bribes,
Negative.
threats,
Negative.
counseling,
Negative.
therapy,
Negative.
medication,
Negative.
like when parents come to, we've tried everything and
Negative.
nothing works. Let me ask you this. Where in the real world do they do timeouts except for prison? Where in the real world do we get down on somebody's level and lecture them of why they are what they're doing is wrong or why what they want they can't have? Where in the real world do we walk around bribing people? If we do that to a police officer or a judge, what happens? It's illegal. We don't bribe, but we do it in our parenting. So I really want to bring some awareness here because awareness is the first law of learning. And that's what you're going to do here in the free group. You're going to become aware that some things that we are doing are hurting our kids. Some things that we have been taught to do by mainstream parenting are hurting us and hurting our children. That's the awareness we want you to have. If you want to learn the 12 principles, 26 letters in the alphabet, 12 musical notes, you can create hard rock or classical. We've got already every ingredient in the universe at our disposal, but we've put the ingredients together in such a way that we are causing our kids to rebel. We're causing our kids to be stagnant. We're taking a blanket and we're putting it on them and we're smothering their growth. And that's the truth. We're here to bring you the truth. But can we come on here on a live and teach you all 12 principles and what to do in 30 minutes and now you got it? Nuh-uh. If you want to change, you got to change. If you want to change, you got to learn some things. Let me share with you. We decided when I met Thomas and I was in personal development and I had 4 kids who were being diagnosed with behavior disorders and mood disorders. And I had no idea what was going on until I met Tom, realized that he had a whole parenting philosophy. I'm like, we need to put this together. So we put it together and we published our first book. But the first book had 12 words and a whole bunch of words in the subtitle. And we didn't know that a book should just have 4 or 5 words max. We didn't know anything. We just wanted to get you the information. So this is our 4th attempt, final attempt at publishing our book. And I just got to show you this. This is the new Learn to Speak Kid book. So if you go to Amazon to get this, look for this picture. Learn to Speak Kid. You see the little devil turns into a little angel? Devil to angel, Learn to Speak Kid. All you have to do is speak their language. So if you bought the book and posted a review on Amazon already, then we'll send you a copy of this book. And we'll actually put a special little signature in the front of it. Isn't it so cute? Comment. What do you think of the book cover, Learn to Speak Kid? And does anybody have any questions? This is live Q&A. We're here to answer your questions. We'll just keep talking until you put a question in the link. And not only that, we updated Raising Healthy, Happy, Cooperative Kids. Now, if you're just here, we give you this audiobook on our free app, Creating Champions for Life.
Why?
Why?
Why do we give the free cookie better known as the book. Download the app, get it right there, and listen to it. And it has the exact formula of what to do. It's right there.
Oh, Holly, thank you so much for sharing. Okay. Um, yeah, so I wrote this actually 4 years after the first one because I realized that parents needed a paradigm shift in order to see the truth before they could actually start implementing that's called a goal. How much does that make sense? We need to have a foundation before we put a roof on the house, right? We don't just like we don't just put walls up on a house, guesswork, put it up, and then when it falls down, complain. And that's what's happening in our parenting. Holly, you've been following us for, I don't know, a month or two. She says, proud moment, me and my son Drake, that is 9, diagnosed with ADHD and ODD. We moved in on into our own house in December, and it's like he's been a totally different kid. He still gets a small attitude, but he's been coming home, doing his homework. Grades are up. Teachers have even said how proud they are of him. Now, if I can get him to help me around the house and stop saying he's bored all the time, yeah, that's cute. Like I said, we're building a foundation, and we're not quite there yet. But that is so beautiful.
What was her name?
That's life changing. That's Holly.
Holly. Holly, congratulations on doing what we would call as like a double negative. Stop doing this, right? There's something magical that you either are starting to become in tune with, or you're doing it unconsciously because you're just open to just go and do anything called play. But you stop doing what caused the disorder in the first place. You might have came in with dictation or yelling, right? You might have been always doing, and you actually said, you know what? I'm just going to just let them do it. You're letting go of some bribery, some overcompensating, some just telling them what to do. It's time to get up. It doesn't matter how much you sugarcoat it, it's still a dictation. But I guarantee you, Holly, you released a bribe, an overcompensate, or a dictation in some form or fashion, because when you do, hand, hammer, whack, 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 whack. Hey, doc, my hand hurts. What do I do? Stop doing that. All of a sudden, my hand starts to feel better. Congratulations. You did one of the 3. You may not even know it yet, but you just took the first step to what we call healing.
So Holly, what is it that you think is making the difference for you and your son diagnosed with ADHD and ODD? And I want to say this too, because people are like, yes, my behavior disorder does really exist. Yeah, it really does. And behavior disorders come to be in children when we miss the milestones of their growth. When we do everything for them at the age of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We do everything for them, buy them everything, give them everything, raise them on a welfare system. We lecture, we punish. As I'm talking, does anybody go, that just sounds wrong? Give me the comments. Does that sound wrong to you? So this Q&A may just be a wake-up call. It might just be that everything we've learned about parenting is wrong. Okay? Somebody made it up. We do not live our life in any other form or fashion the way we are taught to parent. We are taught to manipulate and control our children. So when you speak, when you raise your kids on a welfare system and you just give them everything for free, and trust me, I did it, man. When Tom showed up at my house, they all had a Toys R Us in each of their rooms. They all had Nintendo DSs, karaoke machine, computers, you name it. They had it because I wanted to be a good mom. And I wanted to give my kids a great life. And I wanted them to know how loved they were. And I wanted them to have a life that I always wanted. So when I had kids, they became my 4 little I don't know, my 4 little beings that I got to dress the way I wanted to. They were just like my pets. No, that's terrible. I know it's terrible. Give me hate comments or whatever. I'm just trying to bring a point. I'm trying a little bit of shock therapy here this morning. Okay. But like, I decided everything. I planned everything. I bought everything. I did everything. I. Never once as a parent did I look at my children and say, what's important for you today? When we go camping, what would you like to see happen when we go camping? Never, not once. Mom, I want juice. I run into the kitchen to make them juice. Not one time did I think, he's asking for juice. Maybe he's ready to learn how to make juice so he can be independent. Not one time. So, yeah. Okay, let me go back to my comments. Okay. Yes.
The +1 on that, Bonnie, is we asked that question. What is your role as that parent? What is your role as a parent? And that right there is the biggest game changer, just to go, why are the kids even here? We keep asking why for deeper understanding. And when you can keep asking why, 1, 2, 3, 4, almost up to 10, 12 times, something can click. Because when you understand why they're there, why there's a sacred relationship, why there's certain things that are designed to just fall right into place, that every animal in our animal kingdom follows except for man. There's this moment of clarity where you're like, wow, how did they hide the big giant X in the middle of the island where everybody could see the two trees crossing, and you never saw it because we were taught not to see it? It's your reticular activation system.
Yes.
So let's just give it a quick test for all the ones that are going, I have no clue what this is going on, but think of a color. You got it? Great. Now, probably close your eyes first. Think of the color. Scan the room for how many items are in that room that are that color. In about 5 seconds, you probably come up with a handful of them. And then how many things did you see that were not that color? And you'd be like, well, I wasn't paying attention to those. Right. We weren't paying attention to what they were doing correct. We were paying attention to all the things that they were doing wrong or need to do better. Negative. You see, whatever you focus on, you'll always find. So when we say everything's working perfectly, you're going to love us and hate us at the same time. It's usually like, well, you just don't understand. We understand more than you do. The question is are you actually coachable or open to see it from a new perspective? Because when you are, the healing's been banging on your door the whole time. You're misinterpreting the message that's coming from your little genius offspring.
Man, so many gold nuggets every time you speak. It might just go over people's heads. If it did go over your head, watch the video again. Like,
stand up taller or get a bigger forehead.
Yeah, set your reticular activation system off of what's wrong with my kid to how can I help. That's really the thing, right? It's like, watch these videos, engage in our content with a mindset of, I believe in my child. I believe in my child. They are the one and only perfect little miraculous being to exist. They have an individual thumbprint that needs to be validated and guided and nurtured and molded into a character. And they're going to be whatever character it is we create. And so if you're like looking at your kid going, oh, this little kid's annoying, and this little kid, all she does is do this, and all he does is do that. Well, like, congratulations. Like that you're just going to be stuck there. If you want to fix it, we need to change that. We need to get off this live and go, I believe my child is capable, Aaron, of getting out of bed on time. I would like to know, what things are you doing right now to get your little one out of bed on time in the mornings? Because in order to ride a bike, you got to pedal the bike, and then we can kind of steer, act, analyze, and adjust. So this is kind of going into what actually makes a kid want to listen and cooperate. What makes a kid actually want to get out of the bed in the morning and do what they're supposed to do and be ready to head out the door on time. So hopefully you're still here and you can answer that question. Otherwise, we'll come back to it in a minute and do the best we can to answer it. Carlos, we teach them to say, Mom or Dad, please get me, because when they are more than capable to get it themselves. Yes. And then we end up being like their little servants. And then we end up complaining that we're so exhausted. Okay, what am I looking for here? Oh, Holly, you answered my question. Thank you. So I asked Holly, what do you think changed in your house with your little guy? being in a calmer environment. I live with my mom since he was a baby, but it was never calm there. I moved out last year with my fiance, but it got to where Drake didn't even like being there. It wasn't as calm environment either. Now it's just me and him and it's calm. Yeah, it's you and him and it's calm and you are now in control of the environment that he's in and that's definitely going to help a lot. Okay, so Aaron says I try to get her to bed early. I say it's time to get up, cajoling her. All right. So I'm going to pass it to Tom here in a second, but I want to just kind of draw out because this is about getting the child to get up out of bed in the morning on time. But you could really just take this scenario, whatever scenario it is that you're struggling with, and see it through those lenses. Remember, there's only 12 principles. 26 letters in an alphabet make up all the words. There's 12 principles. So whether it's getting them out of bed, getting them to do their homework, getting them to blank, getting them to choose to listen and cooperate, then this is going to ring true for you. So what I want you to picture here, Aaron, is until now, you've been in control of her body and her actions. You're the one that reminds her to get up. You're the one that tries to put her to bed early. You're the one, like, see, when we come at it from an outside perspective like this, I want you to get up early. I want you to go to bed on time, right? When we come at it with an outside perspective, how can I get my kid to get up early in the morning? This whole gentle attachment, whatever, authoritative parenting is manipulation at its finest. And this is why the kids are going Lulu. All right. We're manipulating her, cajoling her, bugging her, nagging her, reminding her we are in control. You are in control of her body and her actions. Aaron, what do you think your daughter would like to be? Do you think she would like you to be in control of making sure she gets up in the morning? Or do you think in her subconscious soul spirit, in herself, that she would like to be in control of her body and her actions? You see, if she gets up on time in the morning now, it's because you told her to. If she gets up on time in the morning because she chose to, then she can look in the mirror and go, look at how great I am.
I did that.
I got up. I did that because I'm working towards a goal. Which one do you think she would prefer to be?
Dun, 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 dun. Hey, this is devastating to my case.
No,
but
she
it's
says no.
actually
She definitely wants to be in
evolutionary.
control. She wants to be
Yes.
in control. Hi, Lily. Thank you for coming. Okay, so now I'm going to give it to you, and we're going to answer that question. How do I get my kid out of bed in the morning on time without reminding, without nagging, without being in control of her?
I wouldn't sign up for that class.
How do I get my kid to get up in the morning on her own? How do I get her to choose to listen and cooperate and get up on her own?
Well, first and foremost, you get up and you go to sleep, right? That makes sense. When you are having them do it, well, it kind of violates the first code, which is the principle of knowing your role as a parent. Your job is to prepare them to launch, which means you do everything sequential. They're going to mimic everything they see you do. So you tell them no, no, no. They finally start to repeat no. And then you say, hey, don't talk to me like that. That's a really weird environment to be in. You see, they're going to mimic everything you do. You're going to start playing follow the leader, taking turns. And then pretty soon there's this Simon Says game that comes into play that is called self-discipline. But if you want her to get up at a certain time, you got to end up bribing. Hey, well, we'll go to that special place after school if you get up to school on time. See, this is all about you being in the control in the driver's seat. But when your child starts to ask, well, I want, we start to validate their needs, wants, and desires. Oh, I like going to the park too. And we always start asking questions about it for deeper understanding. What is it about the park you like? What would you be doing? What makes you want to go there? You see, if we were going to Disneyland tomorrow and it was their idea to go, would you have to get them up in the morning out of bed, Bonnie, ever?
No. never have had to get them out of bed for
Christmas
anything like that.
morning, birthday, I am going to camp. Anything that's really into them, they're already up way before. And you see the razor's edge difference. We want to validate that they have these wants, needs, and desires. These are called goals. And if they knew how to make them work rather than just squeak to get the grease and just irritate you and you do it just to shut them up, when they know that they can go after something and there's a plan that you had to do a certain amount of steps. Well, I got to make sure the mail's done, the dishes are done. I got to make sure that the car payment's done. Then I can go to the park. See, they don't know any of this stuff. And it's off their radar.
Mm-hmm.
But when we can start to show them what is required, not what I want you to do, but what is actually required in order to go do that goal. That's the sacred game that they've been asking since they showed up in physical form. Teach me how the world works, and then believe and encourage me.
Show
right?
me.
Well,
show me what to do.
Right, we show first, right? That makes total sense.
Yeah.
We passed that part, right? We should.
Okay.
And then we encourage I believe that you can do it all by yourself, because when you know your role as a parent is to prepare, not postpone the inevitable, everything changes.
Well, that's really cool, because otherwise it's, come on, get up in the morning. Come on. I'm in control of you. Come on, come on, come on. I want to go to the park. I would love for you to go to the park. You validate, ask questions, tell me about the park, just like he said. And then you show her the 3 different ways of getting up in the morning. And this is going to be really out of your comfort zone. You actually have your child even hold a cell phone and record you. And you get into their little bed, and then you go, this is what it looks like to say, hey, I don't really want to go to the park tomorrow. And you sleep in. The alarm goes off and you turn it off and you sleep in. And you literally show her this. And then you get back out of the bed. You go, this is what it looks like to spend 15 minutes at the park tomorrow. And then you get ready in a hurry or whatever that looks like for you. And then the outstanding is when the alarm goes off, I get out of bed, I get dressed, and you actually do this. The alarm goes off, you're like, yes, it's morning, and I get out of bed. You're showing her, not telling her, because we can't teach you how to drive a car by just telling you how to drive a car. You have to be shown how to drive a car. You read a book, you pass a test, and then you have somebody to show you, and then you practice what that looks like. And then she has her own alarm, and then you go, now the responsibility's all up to you. I believe in you. You have your alarm set. You get to choose 0, 15, or 1 hour minutes at the park tomorrow. I love you either way. And then you trust.
Yes.
And then you trust. And then you sit back and you let them do what they're going to do. You act, analyze, and adjust. Now, here's what I want to say. And I want to talk to Lily here if she's still here. I know my child is capable. She chooses not to be motivated by anything. I give her opportunity to do things for herself, and she chooses not to do what needs to be done.
That's
I get
a
it.
bribe.
I get it. Her brain enjoys the fight more than she enjoys being clean, healthy, reaching her goals. Lily, you said you were a Christian. In the Bible, it says people without vision perish. So I want you to do this for yourself today. This is just going to be a starting point, because what I was going to say just before I talked to you here was, you come on a video, you meet us a day ago, you're like, goal, I got it. And you go, that's called a goal. And it doesn't work out the way you want it to. That's one of 12 principles. We have habits that come to us. Your daughter already has habits that she's developed throughout her entire life. And before we can just get into I have a parent-approved plan, and that's called a goal. Like, before we can do that, there's a phase in our 3-part, what do we call it? The 3-part framework. In our 3-part framework, part 1 is the healing phase. And there's probably some healing to do here. There's some healing to do with your own whatever traumas may have happened to you in your past. There's some healing to do between your relationship between you and your daughter. So we just call phase 1 the healing part. Okay, that's called taking a step back. So what I want you to do is I want you to write out, my perfect day looks like this. And we're going to create a vision. God's going to give you that vision, because living in constant battles and chaos and power struggles and sadness and anger, that's not heaven. That's not godly, is it? Who would be laughing all the way to the bank? Ha 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 ha. Lily's daughter is a little monster who loves to piss her off. Ha 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 ha. Would it be God or would it be the devil? Would it be God or the devil? Ha ha ha.
Let's keep them ignorant and fearful.
Let's keep you ignorant
Easy
and
to
fearful.
control.
Let's keep telling you all the wrong information and just have it be my daughter was born broken. No, your daughter was created in the image of God. That's the truth, and so are you. You are the only one and magical, only you to exist, with potential to be and do and create anything. But to start, we need to have a picture in our mind. And the picture in your mind is, what is your perfect day? My daughter and I have a close connected relationship. I wake up in the morning, it's quiet because she's doing everything she's supposed to be doing without even being asked. What
Vision.
does your perfect day look like? Can you just forget, like, take the foot off the brake, stop trying to like figure everything out in a day, and just take the first step and write out, what does my perfect day with my child look like? And focus on that image. And then now that becomes your goal. That becomes the vision that you're working towards. Now we've got 12 principles of creating champions for life that we need to, number one, learn. We need to then practice and master. Then we can take all the 12 ingredients and we can organize them in our home in such a way where you have a proactive, organized family plan where your daughter knows exactly what happens when she has a meltdown. She knows exactly what happens when she throws a toy across the room. She knows exactly what happens when she decides not to have a shower. This is missing in parenting. Your kids just wake up in the morning going, how can I get anything important to me to actually happen today? And we wake up in the morning going, get dressed, get up, go out. We got to go. Come on, hurry, get your shoes on. Oh, you're going to cry? Let me put you in a timeout. Da, 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 da. When you have a Creating Champions for Life star chart in place, which is in chapter 5 of the Learn to Speak Kid book, by the way, when you have it in place, it's a set it and forget it system. Your kids are responsible for their own life. We become their trusted advisor. We become somebody that they look up to and awe every day as their greatest hero. That's the parenting we want to have, isn't it? But it begins with you, and it begins with this vision, and it begins with, okay, here's where I am. Here's where I want to be. That's called a goal. Now, what are the steps that we need to take to get there? This is not taught to us in elementary school. This is taught in personal development, which he has his whole life, and I've got over 30 years of it. So if you're coming here, you've never had any, I get it. It's going to be a process and a journey, but give yourself some time. Give yourself some space. Now, where am I at? Oh, did a bit of, okay. I am going back. Okay. So Aaron, did that help? Even a little bit? You might need to watch the replay to get that, but hopefully that helped. And I think you're a Gold Star member. I'd love for you to come to the Wednesdays live Q&U, because we can actually be on a Zoom together and talk back and forth. And that's for all of our Gold Star members. For $10 US a month, you can become a Gold Star member and meet with us every Wednesday, and we'll talk you through some of these situations. All right. Okay. I know she's capable. She chooses not to be motivated. Well, that's your job. You give her everything. We're living in a world of immediate gratification. We're living in a world of competing with the Joneses, and so we give them everything. We are attached to our kids and what they do and what they don't do when we shouldn't be. God's not attached to what we choose. He just says, if you want to live this life, do this, and if you want to live that life, do that, and I love you either way, and when you're ready to come to the light side, I'll be here.
Because you're right, Bonnie. When you take the one ingredient, principle number 6, which has to do with knowing the reward.
But people hear the word reward.
Good.
Yeah.
But let's put it as a +1. Take it as a carrot. Now, this carrot could be something that could be dangled out in front, which could be an actual bribe. That's how it's used.
Yeah.
Comes up front, usually comes with strings attached. But you see, when you actually have the carrot as the kids' reward, this is what they've been craving when they've been whining, bitching, and complaining to get it. When you can see that the carrot is something that will get them up in the morning all on their own, the carrot didn't change. How was the carrot introduced? How was the carrot talked about? It would have been there. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
Goal? Goal?
It was their goal. This is when a genius offspring's always learning. They're learning new things. It's something that's important to them. It's not used to manipulate them. And when you give them the plan, this is how it shows up. You see, when you can now tie a missing life skill called get your ass out of bed, you're going to need to practice that until you leave the house, and you're going to need to do it all the rest of your life. So you're going to have 3 different words go through your head. I have to get up. Positive or negative? Fill in the blank. I don't really want to. Or, woohoo! I get to. The carrot never changed. It's our free will on how it's presented, held the environment, and more importantly, it's a belief of going, you know what? You're going to be able to do it all by yourself, little Timmy. Let's see how well you do today. And we start at 0 and we always add. And when they want more, they start to learn that they do more, you do less.
Yeah.
It's part of a healing, uniting, and empowerment phase. Everybody wants to empower, but you signed up for parenting and went the wrong direction. So we have to get some uniting back into place. And before uniting can even happen, we got to take a quick test. How many of these 12 principles are missing in your toolbox? And when you do this 30-minute exercise, you're going to go, oh my gosh, I'm missing this ingredient, this ingredient, this ingredient. Nope, I got this ingredient. This one missing. How come I can't bake anything in the kitchen with only 1 or 2 ingredients, Bonnie?
Oh,
And somebody would go, did you just hear what you said? Yeah, but that makes total sense now.
well,
I'm
yeah.
missing the ingredients.
Yeah, like, okay, I made banana bread a couple weeks ago, put in every single ingredient except for one. It was called baking soda. So I put in all the ingredients, did everything perfectly. It looked perfect. It smelled perfect. I put it in my little loaf pan and put it in the oven. It came out an hour later like a freaking brick. And I was like, I'm missing
Stupid
something.
oven.
Now, yeah, did I say, oh, my bread didn't work? Oh, my bread's just choosing to not rise. No, I missed an ingredient. I missed an ingredient. When you can 100% take responsibility for where you're at right now and stop blaming like the kids, stop blaming things, just take responsibility and go, I did that. I didn't mean to. I did that. Now you're in position to actually start going in the right direction. And so Lily, my child wants to take a lunch to school instead of eating a school lunch. I offered for her to get up in time. You told her or you showed her? Did you show her the 3 different ways she could get up and the 3 different ways she can make her goal show up? So what we're talking about here is a bribe. And what we're talking about here is lecturing. Lecturing words don't work with kids. They don't. It's just like wah 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 wah. That's what they hear when we tell them. If you do this, if you do that, you can have your lunch.
Why does she want to take a lunch to school?
Yeah, like
that's
that's
12
one
questions to
ingredient
find out?
of 12 principles here. I get it, but you're just a starting plate. Can you do your perfect day and read or listen to the audiobook, Raising Healthy, Happy, Cooperative Kids? It's free on the Creating Champions for Life app. If you listen to it and come back to me, I'll be here for you, okay? All right. Show them what's required for them to have what they desire. Now they have a reason to do something on their own. It's in their control. Correct. Everything must be in their control. And we can't be attached to what they choose. If you do this, you get school lunch. If you do this, you're taking a lunch from home. And that's it. It's like we're the leader. We create the environment that our kids grow up in. When they have access to everything for free, no, they're not going to be motivated. Okay. Allison, can I get a link to the Zoom Wednesday call? Allison, you're a gold member. It should be right in your gold membership. It should be right there. If you go to your gold membership, look for Q and U, and it's the schedule and the link should be right there. If it's not, can you please private message me and I'll get it fixed ASAP. Okay. Can you please DM me how to join the class Wednesday? My app doesn't show that. Oh, so Aaron already answered. I will make sure it's there today. Angela, can you make sure that we talk to Micah and make sure it's there for the Gold Star members? How do I get my grandson to stop constant humming? When I talk to him about self-control, he says, I can hum if I want to. It was a big problem in kindergarten. He hummed the entire day. It was hard on the teacher. Okay. How do I get my grandson to stop constantly humming? Yeah, when I talk to him, which is another word for lecture, and we've talked about that the entire day today, how lecturing just won't work. He needs to have an outcome, a proactive outcome. You tell me, what happens when he hums? What happens when he listens quietly?
Well, I'd like to know is where is the humming section? The kid's screaming out loud going, did you hear this? And who validated them? Who went, well, look at that. You found how to hum.
Yes.
Da, 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 da.
Validate,
Look at you,
validate,
little
validate,
hummer.
validate.
Can you hum loud? Low. Something in the middle? Can you hear? Go here, there, with the fox, in the box, green eggs. Are you with me? Like he
Yes.
figured out how to make musical sound vibration with this meat suit that he was just born in with no instruction manual and nobody. Well, wait a minute. I was promised somebody would see my greatness as a little genius, embracing my own uniqueness, and somebody to go, oh, we got ourselves a little hummer. Look at this. Look at you. Go, 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 go. Then, and only then, do you know where the different places are to hum, comma, yet? You see, we were asking those questions so we can dive right into going, well, no, I just figured this toy out. This is really cool. And he's searching for his big kid trusted advisor, whoever it might be, to validate him and go, look at that. Now, let me show you. There's a way to get a smile, create a frown, and get ignored when you hum. There's 3 different places that you can do this. And you show them where they are. And you already know 2 of them. He's been waiting going, well, where can I hum? Where's that humming section? And you're encouraged that I believe in you so much that if you want to create frowns with that hum, you've got it. You want people to ignore you when you hum, you got it. And when you want somebody to go, wow, I like your new album called Hum, and I like to buy it. You see, that's the relationship that's missing, because when you put that into place, it's like, well, look, there's the good, the bad, and the ugly. Everything's working perfectly. When you show them where the humming section is, the kid, I guarantee you, would be like, check it out. When I want to get yelled at, I hum here. When I hum over there, I get praised. They're asking, show me how it works, and then believe that I can do it.
Believe in me.
Stop doing it for me. You got 3 things to do for them: food, clothing, shelter. Thank God for childhood protective services so they can enforce our rights. When you know that everything else is a privilege, that you can make happiness happen and pain happen, and it's all dependent on which one of the 3 options to anything and everything there are, well, it just seems like my whole case has just been shattered, because I didn't have all 3 options to raise my kid. But thank God you've got grit. You're doing the best that you can with what you know, and you're still here in the game. The question is, are you actually ready to learn the things that you've been taught not to see?
Oh, God. I kind of feel like that was like so quick. Did you catch the power of what Tom just did there? Like that 1.5 minutes has got to go out on social media because it's everything. It's like all 12 principles kind of like brought into like a really couple-minute talk. Did you catch that?
I'd like to hear it again. I'm not even sure what I just
Learn to
did.
speak
It
kid
was really
validating
powerful.
workshop. Yeah, we need a validating workshop. Because it's like I feel like a little bit of a broken record. Well, what happens when they hum? Validate. What happens when they throw a dish across the room? Validate. What happens when they cry? Just validate.
What did
Oh,
you do when Harley Faith got into the kitchen and pulled everything out?
we validated.
Validated.
Validate. See, our toddler doesn't cry. She doesn't even like. If she does, it's like a 5 second, and it's like, well, that's one way to communicate, and she'll just go, and she'll stop. Like a creating champions for life kid, you could take the same kid, put it into a creating champions for life environment, and it will be a champion. That's what we promise you. We can show you how to do it, but it's going to take some time, and it's going to take some energy, and it's going to take some effort. And in fact, ask Alex, Rachel, Angela, Nicole. This is going to be the biggest fight of your life. Carlos. But if you wanted to, we have a 90-day plan of action. We have a 90-day parenting challenge for change. Does it cost money? Yeah, you need to invest. It's like a university course shoved into 90 days. We're talking about completely transforming a child who is oppositionally defiant, been to therapy, on medication for 5, 10, 15 years. And yes, we do have clients that have 15-year-olds and 31-year-olds and so on. They come to the 90-day challenge, they work the process, and boom, they figure out the 12 principles, they organize the information, and they're not saying Bunny and Timmy anymore, they're saying Bonnie and Tom. They've got the letters in place. Everything, all the pieces of the puzzle kind of come together. They become a leader in their home. And I want to close with this. We're heading down a track at 100 miles an hour in the wrong direction when you come here. That's the truth. You live in daily chaos, daily frustration, daily back talk, daily arguments. It's hell. And that's how you come to us. There's no way to stop that train going down the tracks at 100 miles an hour in an instant. You're not going to fix it in an instant. You're talking about a human being. Your child is a tiny human being with thoughts and feelings. And they crave a life purpose, because if you do everything for them and be everything and then lecture them to get them to do what you want and try to manipulate them, what the frick is the purpose of them even being alive? You tell me this. What's the purpose for a child being in a family if their job is to sit over there on an iPad and your job is to cook dinner and do everything in the house?
Reminds me of Cinderella.
Oh my God. Your child just wants you to see them. I hope you're still here, Lily. Your daughter wants you to see her greatness. And so far, our RAS filter is so set on everything going wrong that we're not seeing their greatness, okay? Every child, every parent here watching, this message is for you. Your child wants you to see them, to hear them, to validate them, to know that it's okay to be who they are in this world. To know that they do have some control over the results in their life, to know that they can set a goal and work towards it. That doesn't mean, I want to go to the park and let me show you how to do that in 5 minutes. Maybe I want blank becomes a goal. That's good. It's good to want things. Those are called goals. This is what gives us inner joy and happiness, is to have a goal. When your children don't have any goals, they're just going to be these little angry,
They're
unworthy.
Stimulus response.
I'm talking. They're going to be these angry, bitter, unworthy human beings. And that's who we're raising today, ultimately, in the grand scheme of things. Every single family has chaos going on, and we hide it. It's like our own little secret nightmare. We don't know what's going on. And the truth is, your child just wants to be seen. They want to have their own little life unit. It's your job to prepare your child for life. And if we haven't prepared them for life, they are going to hate you. So if you want your kid to love you and you want to have close connection, they don't owe you love. They don't owe you respect or cooperation. You owe them life skills. You owe them validation. You owe them the time, the money, whatever it freaking takes to get things right for them. their lives are at stake. So I just wanted to say that. If you're just getting started, become a gold member. Binge watch all of the content in the gold membership. I will add, for those of you who are gold members, the Q&U calendar today, because apparently it's missing. Just know that you have 100% control. You could listen today and we may never see you again. That's fine. We love you either way. But for those who really see this and who want a different life, we're here for you. And we've got it all figured out. How to take all of these 12 principles and to show you exactly how to organize it in such a way that your ODD kid, your DMDD kid, your kid with conduct disorder, your kid who's in jail right now, your kid who has been on medication since the age of 3, whatever it is that you're dealing with, we got the 12 principles organized in such a way to create greatness. All you got to do is really, really engage. So before we close up, used to take over an hour in the mornings full of screams. Now takes 35 minutes with hugs and I love yous. Yeah, that makes me almost want to cry. Angela says, I'm so with you on this. I have seen the transformation firsthand when you validate. My grandson, Jax, was in awe of being recognized as a little genius. I may post the video in the group. Yeah, you are such a champion, Dad, Carlos. Yes, you are, Carlos. And every parent here. If you're here, high five to you. I want to just praise you and validate you for taking your time to come spend with us today. We don't not take that lightly. I know that you're looking for answers. I know that you would love to have happiness and connection and kids who work with you in harmony, like a fine-tuned Swiss watch. And all you need to do is like learn all 12 principles and organize your home in such a way that creates champions. Our job is to create you to become a champion leader, mom or dad. And in turn, your job is to help your child become a champion here on this planet. So with all that being said.
Do we have one last piece that we could fit in for people who stayed to the end?
Sure.
Echo back a little bit here, Bonnie, with me. We hear a lot of things that are wrong in the family. False or true?
Yes.
Okay, so let's play the game of opposites. What's the opposite of wrong?
Right.
Right. And so a lot of times we sort of going, well, we got to make this right. They're doing wrong. You're not doing right. Things like that. But then we get stuck in a loop. Like, what's the opposite of right? Most people will go back to wrong. You see, what keeps us in that thing is you get wrong and right, wrong and right, wrong and right. But when you go, what's wrong? Opposite, what makes it right? What's the opposite of right? And you get out and you add the third element, which is left. You're going to find out that the secret is there's something left out of the formula that when you're interacting with your kids that's causing the disharmony, the disorder. And yes, it is this absolutely this simple. And when you find out that there's going to be one of those 12 principles that's missing, and when you add it, common side effects every single time are healing, uniting, and empowerment, hands down. So do you have the courage to step up to find out what's been left out? And if you do, you'll know exactly what to do to move forward.
Yes.
Yes.
Learn to Speak Kid book. Send us a message. Upgrade to Gold Star membership. Join the 90-day parenting challenge. Wherever you're at, there's a starting place for you. So until we meet again, here's to our parenting success. Cheers.
Bye for now.